with community groups. They were not usually engaging with heritage, and most importantly, they wouldn't engage so much with the heritage of the Forth and Clyde Canal. We did boat building with two groups. The first group was from the Mary Hill Integration Network, predominantly people who've been through the experience of being a refugee and asylum seeker. The challenge of that was that quite a lot of the group didn't have good English skills, some of them at all. So in a way, that presented as a challenge, but at the same time as a success, because boat building became the common language. In Kirkintilloch, we did a boat building with the local youth group. That was a really rewarding experience, as the young people built the boat at the Seagull Trust's boathouse, and the Seagull Trust has the demographic of the older generation of engineers and boaters. The success of the project is that the two groups, the very young adults and the older generation, worked together in a very nice way. They bonded to the point that they had difficulty separating them at the end of the project.
This project, CanalCraft, has been a big thing for me. It literally changed my life basically, because before I would basically live in my bedroom, I'd be scared to go out. CanalCraft made me like the outside world more, it made me get out more, it forced me to get up early in the morning and come down and build a boat and paint it.
What we did is we put as many people as we could, participants, on the Canal Society's boats, where they had the opportunity to navigate the boats and also experience being on the canal.
So many of women actually have put that in relation to the memories what they are brought with them of the countries they are left behind. Also having opportunity to explore this part of Glasgow and know better their community, and option actually for future to take their children along Canal.
It's very exciting. I met a lot of lovely people here, lovely ladies on the boats. So it's like just a family ride, like we're on holidays. I would love for us to do it again and again.
I was surprised at the amount of women who wanted to come along, because a lot of the stories from some of the women were quite dark about the canal, that they were scared of it, they just didn't like to go there. A lot of bad memories, or just, it's a scary place to go. So it was great that they wanted to, come out onto a boat. Some of them had never been on a boat, and experience it, and it went down really well.
The driving was excellent, so enjoyed that. Never thought I'd get a chance to do that.
It's like doing yoga, relaxing yourself, and you just, the fresh air, the breath of fresh air, away from the noise. I also enjoyed riding the boat for the first time myself, and I almost crashed here and crashing, so it was fun all the way.
I think a few of the volunteers certainly had lived in Maryhill for a little while since that point, so they were familiar with kind of the area and a bit of the canal, and they'd walked beside it before, but definitely this brought them much more in touch with it.
Here I am on the barge. It's called the Voyager, and we're going along the canal. I walk along the canal every week with the Women's Centre, so this is great getting on the actual boat. I'm very excited. I'm so excited.
Let's
The civic journalism, it was a new idea that we introduced to the groups. Everybody knew about social media, everybody used a mobile phone. With the Maryhill Integration Network and the women from the Maryhill Women's Centre, we took the groups to the canal. We walked with them up to the canal and we discussed and we let them know how to approach the environment of the canal through the lens. The Kirkintilloch group was Grace, which is an aftercare mental health group.
It's no for Grace, no, as a whole, no, it isn't the end product. It's a process, no, it's a process, it's a learning.
We could see very quickly how people became more confident using their equipment and also using their understanding of what do they learn.
How do you not like to work? Public places, formal presentation. Sorry. That's like what we do not like. What we're being made to do. Yeah. And rushed. Okay, true. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm Don Martin and I take a great interest in the local history of Kirkintilloch district and have done for many years, all my life really. A good number of the famous Clyde puffers were built in Kirkintilloch, but the very last one to be launched was in September 1945. When I was 4 years old, I was invited to come along and I was fascinated to see another boat being launched in Kirkintilloch, and I thought that this really was the conclusion of a very important and significant project because it was a great tradition to have boat building in Kirkintilloch.
The Canal project was to bring communities of all types and ages together.
And also the project was set up to assist the society in maintaining its records, which have been for quite some time in the heads of people or in paper fashion. CanalCraft has now digitised these records and hopefully they will be in the future searchable for other people to use.
And we've also been to a couple of festivals more around kind of the canals and boats since then in Glasgow.
Lena mentioned the Canal Festival. She'd had a festival and invited all the women who had attended the focus group.
The festivals were awesome, I loved them. I loved people interact with other people, seeing our boats there in the glory, going out in like big ginormous water for the first time, which was scary for me, but I got used to it.
Painless.
If you can hear me, good afternoon and welcome. Good to have you with us.
The challenge of it is that it leaves an object, which in our case, there were two boats that we had to use after that. We had to find a way to accommodate in the activities and also physically somewhere. They had to live, they had to stay. We still have to solve that. One of the boats is going into a retreat for children with cancer in Calendar, and we're very happy about that. We also called it Love and Care. And the other boat that we have called Dream is gonna hopefully stay with the group and be used in them familiarize themselves with the canal for the future, not just for the project.
Today is a celebration, so it's good I'm here to celebrate.
I love the environment in the canal. It's got the country feel. Everybody says hi when you walk by. The cyclists smile at you, the joggers smile, compared to like 2 minutes down the road where everybody's walking along the main street and they're all so busy getting on with their own lives, but the canal's just such a relaxed environment.
It's actually opened up a lot of eyes to, actually this is a fantastic resource we have in our local community.
Promoting the canal as an asset is really important as an organisation. We're all now promoting walks along the canal, we're doing the cycling along the canal, so we are getting involved as much as we possibly can, because I do think that it's such a great opportunity that you have this on your doorstep.
I think the canal could help people in the future because it was originally built to be a working canal, and many people in the local areas had jobs in the canal in forms of import, export, the horse and cart kind of thing, and I think that you could maybe use those old ideas to invent a new canal.
History is a big thing. It needs to be like the heritage, like community heritage, which is this thing is about, should be brought out more. History everybody should know about the history of where they live or their family and all that, to learn what it was like before, and to like keep that history going and continuing like legacies and all that.
Hopefully CanalCraft, through its connection with the younger generation and others, will maybe bring in younger people into our society. It would certainly be wonderful from that point of view for the CanalCraft to be a legacy for the society and for the canal in the future.
There's craft upon the river broad, there's craft upon the sea, and inland in her bonny loch still other craft there be. But there's a little boat I know whose charms outweigh them all. She sails to use the Doric on the Forth and Clyde Canal. From Port Dundas to Carneytown she winds her wooded way, and on to Congramaloch there a little while to stay. But when she blows her siren shrill to give the bridgemen call, she fairly wakes the echoes on the Forth and Clyde Canal.